Alright guys, so with this video, we're going to talk more about the Atrium closed and specifically about the Atrium damping system. Principles are the same between the two systems, but they're kind of implemented a little bit differently in the open and closed system. It took me years and years to figure out, hey, this is how the internal structure of a headphone needs to be so that we can have closed headphones that really sound natural the way open headphones do. And I, we'll be 100% honest, building the closed headphones is much harder and time consuming, and coming up with a damping scheme for them is much tougher than an open headphone. And looking at kind of the structure of a lot of these old guitars, this is a 1940 0015 guitar. They're fairly simple contraptions, and you also think about the kind of the size of the room that's inside this sound port. The notes, or the strings on a guitar, it kind of reverberates for a certain amount of time, and guitar players kind of obsess over what woods the guitars are made of, what kind of strings they use, how big the body is, what the bracing is, and all that stuff. Very similar to the way us audiophiles obsess over exactly how something's going to sound. And so I realized that while they're two different things, you could play guitar in a numerous amount of different rooms, and based on where you're sitting, it's going to reverberate off things and sound different. And so it's all about kind of controlling the environment, a way to design headphones instead of modding them, so I had that finite control over what was getting to the ear, so I could really know, hey, if I make this change, I'm going to get a more desired result. This material, this damper as you call it, it has a distance between the driver and itself, and then another distance between itself and the outside of the headphone. And this material, yes, we use a certain type of foam. This material can really be anything. It can be Titan mesh, it could be steel wool, it could be any kind of acoustic damper you use. It doesn't have to be foam, and that's where the variability comes in. There's almost an infinite possibilities of what radius you have or don't have in this, what material you use, how far it's from the driver, and how big the room you're creating is. Just like you can play an instrument in a small or large room, you can damp the inside of a headphone in a small or large manner. This Atrium closed here, any immediate start and stop to sound is probably going to be bad for the sound as it gets to your ear. And so what the Atrium system does in a closed headphone is it allows us to have, hey, we're going to start here and we're going to regiment how the sound is diffusing as it gets to the ear, so it can sound more natural like an open headphone, instead of having these quick starts and stops that come from being in a closed room. And you can see, here's the impulse response. The pink line is without the Atrium damper in place. All the other things are in place in this headphone except for, just that foam damper. Even without just that foam damper, you can see there's more immediate energy at the front and more energy, if we zoom in here, all the way at 2.1, 2.2 milliseconds, there's about a third more energy if you look at the numbers. And then when we look at the frequency response, you'll see an even greater difference, just in that now we can see without the damper 5 decibels or more of extra bass, and we're a little more choppy in the upper mids here. Whereas with the damper in place, the frequency response is more smooth. The Caldera pads. And the reason we're using this perforated pad in concert with it on the closed model You know, it's important to note that the inner part of the pad is solid here, which makes it a little closer to a closed pad than an open. But when you have the perforations on the top and the outside of the pad, just like the inside of the headphone, the, you know, damping characteristic, it is slowly decays outward as it comes in instead of an immediate start or stop. So that's the Atrium damping system in the Atrium closed and Atrium open headphones and our other models. If you have any questions, leave them below. This system really allows me to know what I'm putting out in each headphone, that it is exactly what my intention was for the headphone, and that it's, you know, I'm able to say, hey, this is the final product because I'm able to have this system in place so I can really finitely control the sound in each headphone. So it's, you know, it's something that's helped me a lot, and I hope you guys love our headphones because of it. So leave me any questions and comments below, and thanks for watching the video.